Golf has always portrayed itself as the gentleman's game, a sport of honor, integrity, and self-regulation. But beneath that polished exterior lies a history of scandals that would make even the most dramatic sports blush. From gambling rings that threatened the PGA Tour's existence to drug suspensions carefully hidden from public view, golf's darkest moments reveal a side of the sport rarely discussed on broadcast television. In this video, I'll break down the most shocking scandals in golf history, the controversies, cover-ups, and criminal activities that the golf establishment would rather you forget. These aren't just bad decisions or momentary lapses in judgment, they're the skeletons in golf's carefully maintained closet that changed careers, tournaments, and, in some cases, the entire sport itself. Tiger Woods' personal scandal. The most publicized scandal in golf history began unfolding in the early morning hours of November 27, 2009, when Tiger Woods crashed his Cadillac Escalade into a fire hydrant and tree outside his Florida home. What initially seemed like a minor traffic incident quickly spiraled into a global media frenzy as reports emerged of Woods fleeing his home after a confrontation with his wife, Elin Nordegren, over his infidelity. In the weeks that followed, dozens of women came forward claiming affairs with the world's most famous athlete. Woods' carefully crafted public image collapsed overnight. Major sponsors, including Gatorade, AT&T, and Accenture, dropped him, costing him an estimated $22 million in endorsement revenue in 2010 alone. Woods eventually admitted to multiple infidelities and entered a 45-day therapy program. He took an indefinite break from golf, not returning to competition until the 2010 Masters, where he finished tied for fourth, despite the intense scrutiny. The financial impact was staggering. Beyond lost endorsements, Woods' absence from tournaments caused PGA Tour ratings to plummet by 50% in some events. His own performance suffered dramatically. After winning 14 major championships between 1997 and 2008, Woods wouldn't win another until the 2019 Masters 11 years later. What made this scandal particularly shocking was the complete disconnect between Woods' public persona as a disciplined, controlled competitor and the reckless private behavior that was revealed. The scandal fundamentally changed how the public viewed not just Woods, but celebrity athletes in general. The Shoal Creek controversy. In 1990, the PGA Championship was scheduled to be played at Shoal Creek Golf Club in Birmingham, Alabama. Weeks before the tournament, club founder Hall Thompson told a Birmingham newspaper, "We don't discriminate in every other area except the blacks. We have the right to associate or not associate with whomever we choose." The statement revealed that Shoal Creek, like many prestigious American golf clubs at the time, had no black members. Civil rights groups immediately planned protests, and major corporations including IBM and Toyota pulled their television sponsorships, threatening the broadcast of the year's final major championship. Under intense pressure, Shoal Creek hastily admitted a local black businessman as an honorary member just before the tournament. More significantly, the controversy forced the PGA of America, USGA, and Augusta National to establish new policies requiring host venues to have inclusive membership practices. This scandal exposed golf's long history of exclusion and segregation. Many of America's most prestigious clubs had either explicit or unwritten policies excluding minorities and women. The Shoal Creek controversy didn't immediately change these practices, but it made them untenable in the public eye and began a slow transformation of golf's exclusionary culture. The impact extended beyond tournament venues. In the years following, many private clubs quietly changed their membership policies rather than face public scrutiny. Augusta National, home of the Masters, admitted its first black member in 1990 in the wake of the controversy, though it wouldn't admit women until 2012. The Glenn Burke gambling scandal. In 1985, PGA Tour player Glenn Burke was suspended for betting on golf tournaments, including events in which he was competing. The scandal threatened to undermine the integrity of professional golf, as Burke admitted to placing bets through a bookmaker with ties to organized crime. What made the scandal particularly disturbing was that Burke wasn't just betting on himself to win. He was betting on various outcomes and players, creating potential conflicts of interest that could have influenced tournament results. The PGA Tour, concerned about public perception, handled the matter quietly, suspending Burke but avoiding public discussion of the specific allegations. Burke's case highlighted the unique vulnerability of golf to gambling influence. Unlike team sports where a single player might have limited impact, a golfer can easily influence their own performance. A missed putt or strategically poor decision might go unnoticed as normal variance rather than deliberate manipulation. The scandal led the PGA Tour to strengthen its anti-gambling policies and increase education for players about the risks of association with gamblers. Today, the Tour explicitly prohibits players from betting on golf tournaments at any level, with violations potentially resulting in permanent suspension. Jane Bllelock's disqualification and lawsuit. In 1972, LPGA player Jane Bllelock was disqualified from the Bluegrass Invitational for allegedly improving her lie multiple times during the tournament. After an investigation, the LPGA suspended Bllelock for 1 year, effectively accusing one of their top players of cheating. Bllelock, maintaining her innocence, filed an antitrust lawsuit against the LPGA. She argued that the organization had acted as both prosecutor and judge, denying her due process. A federal court agreed, issuing an injunction that allowed her to continue playing while the case proceeded. The scandal divided the women's tour, with players taking sides in what became an increasingly bitter dispute. Some players refused to be paired with Bllelock, while others publicly supported her. The controversy threatened the very existence of the fledgling women's tour, which was already struggling for recognition and sponsorship. Eventually, the case was settled out of court, with the LPGA agreeing to establish more formal disciplinary procedures and Bllelock's suspension being lifted. Bllelock went on to win 27 LPGA tournaments, but the cheating allegations followed her throughout her career despite never being conclusively proven. The scandal fundamentally changed how professional golf handles rules violations and disciplinary matters. Both the LPGA and PGA Tour established more transparent processes with clear appeal procedures, recognizing that even in the gentleman's game, accusations require due process and fair hearings. If you're finding these golf scandals fascinating, you're going to want to see what's coming next on this channel. I'm working on an explosive video revealing the secret equipment advantages that some pros are using right now that push the absolute limits of the rules. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss it when it drops. These are the techniques and technologies that give certain players an edge that most fans don't even know exists. Now let's get back to more dark scandals that rocked the golf world. The Casey Martin cart controversy. In 1997, Casey Martin, a talented golfer with a circulatory disorder that made walking painful and potentially dangerous, requested permission to use a golf cart in PGA Tour events. The tour denied his request, arguing that walking was an integral part of the game and that allowing a cart would give Martin an unfair advantage. Martin sued under the Americans with Disabilities Act, creating a controversy that divided the golf world. Top players, including Jack Nicklaus and Arnold Palmer, testified against Martin, arguing that fatigue from walking was a fundamental challenge of tournament golf. Others supported Martin, believing his disability clearly warranted accommodation. The case went all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled 7-2 in Martin's favor in 2001. Justice John Paul Stevens wrote that allowing Martin to use a cart would not fundamentally alter the nature of tournament golf. Despite the legal victory, Martin faced significant backlash within the golf community. Some players and commentators suggested his use of a cart diminished his accomplishments, revealing an ugly undercurrent of ableism in the sport. Martin's professional career was ultimately limited by his physical condition, but his legal battle forced golf to confront its traditions and assumptions about what constitutes fair competition. The case established that even a sport as tradition-bound as golf must make reasonable accommodations for disabilities. The Vijay Singh deer antler spray incident. In 2013, Vijay Singh admitted in a Sports Illustrated interview that he had used deer antler spray, which contained a substance called IGF-1 that was banned under the PGA Tour's anti-doping program. The tour suspended Singh, but in an unexpected twist, he fought back. Singh filed a lawsuit against the PGA Tour, claiming the organization had treated him unfairly and damaged his reputation. During the legal proceedings, it emerged that the tour had previously cleared other players who had used the same substance, creating an appearance of inconsistent enforcement. The World Anti-Doping Agency subsequently removed deer antler spray from its banned list, determining that it contained such small amounts of IGF-1 that it couldn't have performance-enhancing effects. The PGA Tour dropped Singh's suspension, but his lawsuit continued for years, revealing uncomfortable details about the tour's anti-doping procedures. The case exposed the challenges of implementing anti-doping policies in golf, a sport that had long relied on self-regulation and had only recently adopted formal drug testing. It also raised questions about the tour's transparency and consistency in handling potential violations. Singh and the PGA Tour eventually settled the lawsuit in 2018, with terms remaining confidential. The scandal highlighted the tension between golf's traditional values of honor and self-reporting and the modern realities of sports governance and anti-doping enforcement. The Phil Mickelson insider trading case. In 2016, Phil Mickelson was named as a relief defendant in a Securities and Exchange Commission insider trading case. The SEC alleged that Mickelson had made nearly $1 million in suspicious stock trades based on information received from sports gambler Billy Walters, who had obtained insider information from a corporate director. While Mickelson wasn't criminally charged, he was ordered to repay nearly $1 million in trading profits plus interest. Walters was convicted of insider trading and sentenced to 5 years in prison. The case tarnished Mickelson's careful carefully cultivated image as golf's everyman hero. It also revealed his substantial gambling activities. Court documents suggested Mickelson owed Walters money from sports betting, creating the financial pressure that allegedly motivated the stock trades. The PGA Tour, which has strict policies against association with gamblers, took no public action against Mickelson. This apparent double standard, harsh penalties for lower-profile players involved in gambling while seemingly looking the other way for a superstar, raised questions about consistency in enforcement. Mickelson's reputation took another hit in 2022 when he made controversial comments about Saudi Arabia's human rights record while negotiating with the Saudi-backed LIV Golf Series. These controversies revealed a complex character behind the smiling public persona that had made Lefty one of golf's most popular figures. Augusta Nationals gender exclusion. For decades, Augusta National Golf Club, home of the Masters tournament, excluded women from membership. This policy became a major controversy in 2002 when Martha Burke, chair of the National Council of Women's Organizations, publicly challenged the club to admit female members. Augusta National Chairman Hootie Johnson famously responded that the club would not be forced to change its policies at the point of a bayonet. The standoff escalated when Johnson announced that the 2003 Masters would be broadcast without commercials to protect corporate sponsors from being pressured by Burke's organization. The controversy exposed the tension between private clubs' freedom of association and their public role in hosting major sporting events. It also revealed golf's ongoing struggles with inclusion and diversity, decades after other sports had made more significant progress. Protests at the 2003 Masters were smaller than expected, and media attention gradually faded. However, the issue resurfaced periodically, particularly when IBM, a major master sponsor, appointed female CEOs who were not offered the club membership traditionally extended to IBM executives. Augusta National finally admitted its first female members in 2012, former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice and business executive Darla Moore. While the club presented this as a natural evolution rather than a response to pressure, the decade-long controversy had undoubtedly influenced the decision and exposed one of golf's most uncomfortable contradictions. These scandals reveal that golf, despite its reputation for honor and integrity, has faced the same dark challenges as other sports. What makes golf's controversies unique is how sharply they contrast with the sport's carefully cultivated image of moral superiority. From personal failings to institutional discrimination, these incidents have forced the golf world to confront uncomfortable truths. In many cases, they've led to positive changes, more inclusive policies, better governance, and greater transparency. The true test of character, for individuals and organizations alike, is not avoiding mistakes entirely, but how they respond when those mistakes inevitably occur. If you found these golf scandals fascinating, you won't want to miss my upcoming video on every banned golf equipment and why they were outlawed. Click right here to watch it, and you'll discover the clubs, balls, and devices that pushed the rules too far and got banned from competition. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video.